Convening of the Cottonwood Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood for presentation of proclamations, awards, and introduction of new city employees to be held October 19th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. So we have two proclamations this evening. And first up is recognizing December 31st, 2021 as Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters 50th anniversary. We have Executive Director Erin Mabry with us this evening. So if you don't mind, ma'am, I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation, then we'll submit it to you. And then you'll get up and you can talk all you want. You've got lots of time this evening. But let me read it first, okay? Okay. All right. Whereas in August 1971, Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters was established to provide one-on-one mentoring of the children of Yavapai County. Whereas in August of 2021, Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters is celebrating 50 years of serving local children through one-on-one mentoring relationships with caring adult volunteers. And whereas Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters is the #1 mentoring organization in Yavapai County. And whereas over 11,000 little brothers and sisters have been matched with big brothers and sisters across Yavapai County. And whereas through partnerships with parents, guardians, volunteers, and others in the community, each child was helped to achieve higher aspirations, educational success, greater confidence, and to learn how to build better relationships. And whereas when children have the influence of a caring adult, they are 46% less likely than their peers to start using drugs, 52% less likely to skip school, and 55% more likely to enroll in college. And whereas creating a professionally supporting one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the promise in us all allow everyone to achieve their full potential. Now therefore, I, Tim Alinsky, Mayor of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, do hereby recognize December 31st, 2021 as the Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters 50th anniversary and express appreciation to the 11,000 volunteers who have provided one-on-one mentoring to the youth of Yavapai County in its 50 years of existence. Thank you. Come on up, please.
Good evening, City Council and neighbors. If you don't know me, I'm Erin Mabry. I'm the Executive Director at Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters. And if you don't know about us, as our proclamation stated, we are evidence and research based, and our mission is, and I have to read it. It's been a long day. It's the end of the day. Inspiring, igniting, and defending the promise of youth through one-to-one meaningful and intentional mentoring relationships. As you said, 50 years, we have served over 11,500 youth throughout Yavapai County. 20% usually live here in the Verde Valley and Sedona. Verde Valley and Sedona have to include Sedona, right? In 2019, we served 386 matches throughout Yavapai County. And of course, due to COVID, issues like fear and people moving away, that was a huge one, and low volunteerism, we're only serving 248 right now. However, 40 of those are in the Verde, 10 are here in Cottonwood alone. So we have a business here, and we have an office, so we're actually here in Cottonwood, and I think that that's exciting because I'm a chamber member and a registered business. But also just about our matches. So I don't know that everybody understands what Big Brothers Big Sisters do. Usually we get confused with Boys and Girls Club, which we're not. But I wanted to tell you a little bit more. As Tim was saying, we have 50 when our kids are matched with a caring adult, 52% less likely to skip school, 55% more likely to enroll in college, 46% less likely to start using drugs. They come out of our matches with healthier lifestyle choices, enhanced self-esteem and confidence. They become more civically engaged, which is important, of course, and they enter our workforce with heightened soft skills. So that's really important today, right? So that's about being a little, but being a big has its benefits too. So a lot of times our bigs come back and they say, oh my gosh, this was the best experience. I got to give back. I was staying engaged and active. I had new adventures, and I gained an incredible connection. And a lot of times those last a lifetime. It's easy. Being a big is easy. Only takes an hour or two a week. We ask for a 1-year commitment at the very least. However, a lot of our matches last for over 46 months is actually our average. So we have some that last a whole lifetime. Our programs, we have community-based, site-based, and site-facilitated programs. And our community-based is where the big and the little can get together. Our bigs and littles are adults and our kids. They get together and they go out in the community and do stuff. Our site-based are like our school-based programs where the big will go to maybe to the school and sit down and have lunch with them once a week and really connect. And then we have site facilitated where it's like the after-school program where we'll go as staff and sit with the matches and make sure that they're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing in mentoring, right? So it doesn't really take any skills to be a big. There's no monetary investment. It's just your time and attention. We actually have rules around those things, so not too much time. First of all, we don't want somebody to be burned out. And they're not babysitters. So going out and mentoring is doesn't take that much time. And we really don't expect for a big to spend a lot of money on a little. They can, again, it's just about spending time. And becoming a big, there's a huge vetting process. So we make sure first and foremost that our littles are safe and that the matches that we put together are quality matches, that they actually connect, in a good way. So we go through this huge process of background checking and fingerprinting and all that kind of stuff, but we also get to know the big to make sure that we find a little that is compatible so that if the big likes to hike and the little doesn't, it's probably not going to be a good match. So we want to make sure that they're doing things together. I just wanted to show you guys a picture. We just had this match last month. This is a Cottonwood gentleman. He owns a business here. He has a family. His kids are older, so he feels like he can give back. They almost look alike. I don't know if you guys can see this, but a lot of, and I know a lot of people know this big, but they don't have to look alike, but they do have to get along, right? So a lot of times I get asked how we find our littles. They get referred to us usually by like a teacher or a coach or a neighbor and a lot of parents. So there's not really any criteria or anything to become a little. It's not that they're all poor and it's not that they're all from broken homes or that kind of thing. But some of them are hard to be matched. We have some littles that are on our wait list that are over, this one that I just showed you was 97 days waiting to be matched because we wanted to make sure it was a good fit. And some wait a lot longer, years sometimes. And we have 154 kids on our wait list waiting for bigs. So we're really, really, really in need of volunteer bigs, people that can just give a little bit of time and energy.
Now, if you don't mind me interrupting, is that
Sure.
for Yavapai County wide or is that here in the Verde?
Yavapai wide.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Cottonwood is tougher. We don't have as much of a volunteer base as we do in the Prescott area. More retirees, that kind of thing. Sedona actually has more bigs than littles right now. Their kids are kind of gone, and a lot of people up there have time.
Right.
So it's really a strange mix, but Cottonwood, we definitely have a lot of kids on the wait list, and I don't have exact numbers for Cottonwood wait list. But we do keep them engaged while they're waiting. We do keep them engaged with other activities. So that is part of our process, is making sure that we are giving them resources and engaging activities and making sure that we're checking in on them and that kind of thing. So our littles vary in age, so we really don't want to match somebody under 6 years old. Usually that turns into kind of a babysitting type situation. And we really focus on that mentoring piece. So having somebody that can connect with a 6-year-old on that level is kind of tough. Usually at 18, they kind of lose interest in the program, or they, what we call, age out. However, this year, we are expanding our age group, I guess, if you will. And we're really looking at workforce development mentoring. I was in many of you know Liza Nolan from Local First, and she was reporting about mentoring being one of the workforce development pieces that are lacking throughout, especially rural areas. And we were like, hey, well, that's what we do. And so we do this professionally. We have a framework that we actually work from, and it is proven. I mean, Big Brothers Big Sisters nationally has been going on for over 100 years. So we're utilizing our framework for these proven methods to match businesses and mentees. So as kids are getting older and they're maybe 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there, and they are showing interest in a certain kind of business, we're going to be out looking for those businesses to vet them and place those young youth up through 2024 is really what we're looking at. So actually I have a meeting with the college tomorrow, and we'll be looking at getting some of those mentor relationships going. So that's kind of exciting. Let me see. So I know that Verde Valley leadership is something that that the city here has invested in and sent a lot of people through. I'm an alum, but we're also going to be looking at doing doing that same thing, where not really having a variety of places to look at, but really diving into that mentorship, a meaningful mentorship for like a year, and maybe having some scholarships. Well, I know that we'll have some scholarships attached to that. So that'll be fun. That's up and coming. So a lot of people ask me what it costs to make a match. And I will tell you, when I came on board with Big Brothers Big Sisters, the magic number was $1,200 to make a match. And actually, it's much more than that. We're saying $1,800 at this point. And the reason for that is that our match advisors are degreed professional social workers. And really, they have a caseload somewhere between 30 and 60 matches that they support, and that is ongoing. So not only just finding that match and making the match, getting that match together, but supporting them all the way through. So 3 times a month they are in contact with the parent, the big, and the little, and making sure that the match is going well, and if there's anything that they need, making sure they're sticking to the rules and that kind of thing. So that's a little bit about us. Our needs right now, of course, are bigs, and of course financial support, especially after COVID and through all of this craziness. But we are a charitable organization, so your tax credits can go to us, $400 for single, $800 for a couple, and this year and last year, I guess, you can claim it on your federal income as well at $300. So those are our needs, and I can tell you a little bit about our symposium. It's on February 26th. It'll be in Prescott at Yavapai College, and that is our second annual mentoring symposium. We squeezed one in right before COVID hit, so it was a great success. So I'm going to leave you with some information, but does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Mabry? No, I'm excited about your new program, especially the workforce mentoring. I think that's much needed.
I think
That's
so
great.
too. I think we've been needing something like this. So
Yeah.
great.
Awesome.
I'll,
Yeah, feel free to leave that with us, and we'll hand them out. Great. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Yeah. All right, next is proclaiming October 17th to 23rd, 2021 as Arizona Cities and Towns Week. All right, whereas the citizens of Cottonwood rely on the city of Cottonwood to experience a high quality of life in our community, and whereas cities and towns in Arizona work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to deliver vital city services such as water and sewer utilities, fire, police, and emergency medical response to ensure safe communities, and whereas cities and towns in Arizona provide services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents such as parks, utilities, street maintenance, libraries, community centers, and recreational programs. And whereas it is important for Cottonwood to continue to provide the excellent delivery of services and programs that our citizens have come to expect in our community. And whereas it is one of the responsibilities of Cottonwood officials to ensure open and accessible government through frequent communication with citizens using various avenues and means. And whereas through participation and cooperation, citizens, community leaders, local businesses, and municipal staff can work together to ensure that services provided by the city of Cottonwood can remain exceptional elements of the quality of life of our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Cottonwood joins with the League of Arizona Cities and Towns and fellow municipalities across the state of Arizona in declaring October 17th through 23rd, 2021 as Arizona Cities and Towns Week. I don't think there's anyone here to receive this, right?
I'll take that for you,
Okay,
Mr.
you'll
Mayor.
take it.
And to save time, I had a big, long speech prepared to accept that proclamation, but I'll defer to the chamber. I'll give them the rest of my time. But
All right, very good.
I will take a quick shout out to thank council for their leadership in this community and our workforce, and just a big shout out to one of the best organizations that I've worked with. Cottonwood is a great place to work, and we have a great set of leaders. We have a great set of frontline employees, and all working together, rowing the boat in the same direction. So big thank you to them.
Here, here. Thank you. All right, without further ado, presentation, we have Chamber of Commerce Annual Update. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Appreciate you having me here tonight, and thank you for the continuation of our contract. We've got a long-standing partnership that I'm really happy to see is continuing forward. So this has been a great year considering everything we've been through. A lot of the expectations that we thought were going to happen really didn't quite pan out, and we did quite better than we expected we would. So I don't know if that's slide over. So one of our first goals was to increase visitation to the visitor center on Cove Parkway, and lucky for us, and through an offer from the city, we were able to add a satellite office in Old Town, which definitely helped increase our numbers. July of 2020, we only had 42 visitors in the office, so it was really pretty tough and not going well. But we had set some realistic goals, and after the first quarter, we were able to get up to 365 within the first quarter. And goal for the second quarter was 650, and you can see that we exceeded that one as well. So both locations actually serviced just shy of 6,000 visitors to the area. So quite a nice number to see. And the numbers currently are looking like they're going to surpass that for sure. So on our next slide, that's the breakdown by quarter. The Cove Parkway Visitor Center had roughly 4,300, and the Old Town Visitor Center had just over 1,600. And I can tell you right now that those numbers are actually increasing. We're starting to see the numbers shift from the Cove Parkway location to the Old Town Center, so that's really nice. We developed a new visitor sign-in sheet, so we were able to enhance our data collection, which was one of our second goals with our strategic plan. And you're going to see some pretty interesting information on the next slide. We've been working with Tricia and developed the questions that we wanted to present. And so first and foremost, we've got 2,672 total nights in Cottonwood. And Verde Valley, obviously, there tends to be a little bit more, so we're at about 5,100. Our hotels continue to be the number one stay location for people coming in. With RVs, we saw a significant increase in RV travel. I think that was definitely due to COVID and seeing a lot of the people from the valley coming up, finding our wide open spaces and enjoying that. Outdoor adventure was obviously, again, the biggest draw for people, our wide open spaces. And wine and shopping did pretty good too. So interesting numbers there. We continue to advertise through the Office of Tourism. We're doing radio, print, and TV ads. So we've done a couple commercials with Sedona Red Rock, so that's in the hotels in the Sedona area. And also doing some advertising through Essentials Magazine and some of the others, Sedona Monthly. So our collateral distribution, which was also our third goal in that strategic plan, the Cottonwood Visitor Guide is really doing pretty good. We distributed roughly 25,000 out of the 35,000 that we had in stock. And that runs through March, and we'll probably be renewing that again right around February, March. 167 cases throughout the state, southern, northern Arizona, and we increased our push into the Prescott area to drive that market. Cottonwood, City of Cottonwood's wine country sticker has been a pretty hot item in the visitor center. And we're looking for more local merchandise that we'd like to carry there. So what's to come? We want to continue the path that we're going down, increasing that visitation and driving more of the visitors to the Old Town location. We have recently applied for the AVIC, as the Arizona Visitor Information Center, through the Office of Tourism. We're waiting on a couple documents I think from the city about our ADA compliance with that building and letter of recommendation, but everything's on the roll and ready to happen there. Increasing the outreach to the drive market. So we're enhancing a lot more of our digital marketing. We're going to be able to do geofencing and, highlight and target specific audiences to draw them up here. Enhanced data collection. So currently we're doing it basically on a handwritten sheet that's in both visitor centers. I'd like to bring in either a tablet or something that might make it a little bit easier, a little more convenient for people to share the information. And that will also help us in improving our reporting as well. Beautification and enhancements of the Old Town location. So I understand that we're kind of on a limited time frame there, potentially. It could be 2 to 3 years. But we were approached by El Camelo that does the Verde Valley map. And I believe he's wanting to work with the City of Cottonwood doing an Old Town map as well. So he proposed doing a mural on the side of the wall with this Verde Valley map or this Old Town map, if we could. That wall right there is the first thing you see when you come around the bend in Old Town. So I'd like to see that, a huge mural that would welcome to Old Town, hopefully with some sort of map and information there and maybe some other design. I just happened to throw that, to rediscover the Verde Valley up just as a sample. But that is pretty much it, unless you guys have any questions. Love your input on, how we're doing. I think I've included the September report with the sheet that I gave you. You can see that our numbers continue to go up. It looks like we're actually back to a little bit normal schedule, meaning in July, August, those numbers did drop, but they're beginning to pick up again. September, October, November tend to be our peak seasons. Right. So we roughly had 2,380 within the first quarter of this year compared to our 365 last year. So things are happening.
Good. All right. Any questions, Council, for Christian? No. I wanted to just point out you're joined here by your board chair too. Appreciate your time. Mr. Besserell, thanks for being here. Yep. All right. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. In the few minutes we have left here, we've got one new employee to introduce. We've got Mr. Bigelow here to introduce Shannon Boone.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Ryan Bigelow, Library Director, and we're here tonight to introduce the new housing manager, Ms. Shannon Boone. Shannon comes from us from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where she has substantial experience in the nonprofit, government, and private sectors. We're really excited that she came from us from a nonprofit, substantial experience there, but also worked for the city of Milwaukee as the housing rehab specialist. And then prior to that, she actually owned her own business, was a general manager and owner of an urban renovator. So she was on her own, doing her own thing. So she's got experience a little bit of everything. Me personally, I'm specifically really excited that we have a true expert now for housing, somebody that we can talk to and rely on here. A quick reminder that she's also being shared by the city of Sedona, so we don't get her all the time, and we're trying to work out the kinks on how we don't overwhelm her entirely. We had our first meeting, and she's still here. So, but we've got a lot of work to do, but she's got a lot of good ideas. So we're excited about that. Just lucky to have her. Those different perspectives. So, without further ado, Ms. Shannon Boone.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, councilors. It's a true pleasure to be here in the beautiful Verde Valley, and I'm really excited about addressing the current housing challenge. As I've told a lot of people, I really love a good challenge, and this is a unique situation compared to where I've come from in the city of Milwaukee, and it's very exciting for me. So thank you very much.
Great. Well, we've really been anxiously awaiting your arrival, so we're very, very
So I've
glad to
heard.
have you on board.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, we'd like to get a picture if we could.
Yes,
We're
of
back to doing that again.
Yeah,
So
great.
if we could get a picture, sorry, Shannon and Ryan.
Right.